Hi, I'm Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Get down in here in San Antone Bay, all the way up here to Panther Point, Panther Lake, Swan Lake, all the way down to Cedar Lake, Twin Lake. Any lake that you can find down in this area, you might want to get into it. Water levels have been good. They have been consistent. The whole shoreline has lit up pretty well. Trout bite's been pretty good in this area. Lots of bait working in and out of this area as well. Worked all that shoreline, worked the little mouths of the back lakes in these areas, worked the deeper water, then work your little bit shallower water. Down south, Magic Grass, Chicken of the Sea, Supermodel have been the main choice for these trout that we're catching and releasing. Again, if you don't need them, let them go. We continue to need to push as much conservation, as much catch and release as possible as you're willing to do. But also the redfish in this area have been good back in the lake areas, in the Panther Lake, Swan Lake. There's been some scattered around in those areas across those shorelines. The burner shad has been really good. The natural color, again, the Chicken of the Sea, Magic Grass, Supermodels have been good. Topwater action has been somewhat good. You can get that if you get there early enough. Still kind of daylight, it's the sun's starting to pop, and you still got just a little bit of shade on the water. Throw that top water in there in these lake areas, and you can almost use them as a searcher bait as you're looking in these areas to see if there's fish that are holding, just to get you a swirl, get you a slap, whatever that you're looking for. If that's indicators happening with that top water bait, switch that out after a few times that's happened. Put that plastic on or the soft dine on there, and you'll get the result that you want. The redfish and the trout are all up and down in this particular area. Get out here in the middle of Aransas Bay. All these reefs, Long Reef, Half Moon, all these out here. All these reefs that are all up and out here scattered out. Find those out there on your GPS. Most of these are marked on GPS, especially a newer one. If you got older ones, then you may have to do a little bit more work to locate them. But newer GPS styles, all these reefs out here have been marked, and they'll locate for you. And then you can just use your depth finder to get over the top of these. Based on what your tides and stuff are, some of these you can still wade, even though they may not be showing themselves out of the surface of the water. But they may be 1.5 feet, 2 foot underwater that you can jump out and wade. There's some of those little saucer reefs that are out there. They're not maybe more than 30 yards long, 20 yards wide, but they have deeper edges. The water temperatures being up, getting close to 90 degrees during the middle of the day. Your trout or redfish bite has gone away up close to the shoreline. Get out here on these reefs where it gets a little bit deeper water. It's cooler. These fish will hang off in that deeper edge. They'll have off the deeper water there. Just work your edges there. Throw your down south. The Supermodels have been good. A little bit bigger bait profile that's out here in this deeper water shows really well. Those fish can locate that, and you'll know pretty quick if their fish are there or not. You know, spend about 20-30 minutes on a spot, because most of these little reefs are not very big. Just continue to work up and down them, probing and locate fish the best that you can. Down here on the Rattlesnake Point here in Copano, all these little reefs that are out here off of this point, this whole area, nice, good, solid bottom weight, and you got guts that go in between there. Make sure that you watch yourself when you go through some of these guts. They get pretty deep on you, but fish those things, work the edges of that. There's been some nice fish that are being caught out of these areas right in here, all back down toward Pete's Bend, all back in there. There's been some redfish that are scattered amongst this area here. There's a decent amount of bait that's working back in those areas. Just locate those edges, find you some shell. You can find you some redfish that are hanging there. The soft dines, double D's have worked pretty good back in this area. Again, use your topwater bait as a searcher bait, if you will. Throw that thing along the shorelines, see if you get some blow-ups, get some swirls back in this area here. And if you're not getting any takes on that, switch over to your plastic. The burner shads, both in the Supernatural and the Chicken of the Sea, the pearl white in the burner shad has been pretty good here as well. The mirror lure Little Johns have been really good back in this area. Caught a few black drum on the Little Johns, which you can do with those. I've talked about that in the past, but yes, those work really good. Continue to work all back in this area here. If you're not getting the action that you want to do, just continue up here on the shoreline here in front of Redfish Lodge, down this whole shoreline. Nice solid bottom that's working through here. There's been a good amount of bait that's been working all this area here. There have been some trout that have been caught deep. Again, it's some scattered redfish every once in a while, but majority of your trout are being caught or have been caught up in this area here. Just continue to look for bait working. Work your baits deeper early, a little bit shallower later as you continue to work this whole shoreline.
Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Larry Bell.